Thank you everyone for joining us. I'm very excited for this one in particular because before I really even got going working with Security Title here, I found Wade's YouTube channel, and there was one video in particular that really stood out to me. And Wade, are you okay if I share the WordPress
Oh,
story
yeah, sure.
with the drinking glass? Okay, so yes. If any of you have already seen this video, I apologize for repeating myself, but Wade told a story in one of his videos about working with a customer to show them WordPress edits, helping them with their website. In the middle of that meeting, a competitor walks in and delivers a very nice drinking glass. Sure, very nice for for that type of thing. But from what I recall, Wade, the customer was not to be bothered with the drinking glass because you were providing immediate value by helping them with their website. And with Wade's YouTube content that he's been creating for, I think I saw June might have been the 12th anniversary of you starting to create video content.
Yep. Yeah, it's been a while.
So, was there anything else to that story that you wanted to share related to providing, true value and how that dovetails into your motivation for creating your videos?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're, especially the market we're in, you always have to be providing value, right? But, agents, the people that we're trying to, or title people, or, the real estate agents, et cetera, drinking bugs are drinking bugs, who cares, right? They need help getting more business. They need help getting more visibility to their real estate business because they're competing all the time, right? They're competing for listing appointments, they're competing for clients. And, for me, like I position myself as I want to be at least 1 or 2 steps ahead of my clients on the marketing side. Like that agent didn't know a lot about her website. Not that I was a genius, but I knew more than she did. So I could help her with it, right? Agents that are struggling with video, or how do I get, I did a talk yesterday to a bunch of agents at Compass in DC. And one of the things I said is how I can help them with their YouTube channel. And one of the agents stopped and said, well, how can you help me with my YouTube channel? And then I showed him my channel and walked through what I have done in the past and how it works. And that immediately created instant credibility for me, right? That's what they want. And how you create success is being those 1 or 2 steps ahead of your clients, right? By providing them with answers and solutions to their problems and issues that they're having. So that's what I focus on.
Sure. Now with this webinar, I personally have 3 goals for all of the attendees here. Goal number 1 is, if you have never created a video for your marketing, you're able to walk away from our time here today and go create a video and start getting going with all of that. The goal number 2 that I have is, if you have already made some videos in any capacity, you're able to add something to your process to make the quality better, to speed up your process. And the goal number 3 is, if you're never ever going to make a video, you're able to walk away with a nugget of information that will make you a better salesperson. So having said that, Wade, when you say visibility leads to credibility and credibility leads to profitability, what does that mean for you and your video marketing and what you share with your clients?
Sure. So I preach this a lot with the people that I coach in my title sales coaching business, with the realtors that I talk to, is that, we are in a space where we're trying to fight for every client, every deal, and you have to position yourself, so that you have a 24/7 wheel that's turning all the time, that allows you to get eyeballs to your business, to you, to your value, to whoever you are, right? So people can get to know you, like you, trust you, while you're sleeping, while you're with your family, while you're on vacation, doesn't matter what it is. So, by creating good video content, first off, the visibility piece, right? Do I have your attention, right? You're watching me on a video, and all these people that reach out to me, who find me on YouTube, these are all people that are searching for answers. They're searching for something, and the end result of that search is a video, right? So I had the visibility part. They find me, they see me, they whatever. Then the credibility part is, what are you saying that makes the end user smarter and adds value back to me, right? So if I can create that credibility piece on top of the fact that they're watching more than one video, and I talk to people that'll say, I watched like 12 of your videos, right? So they're telling me that. Obviously they think it's credible, because why would they watch 12, right? And that immediately leads to the opportunity to become profitable, because that helps convert people to clients. And the good part is, you don't even really have to convert them. You already did it through the videos. So it isn't like you're trying to sell them something or convince them of something. Like, they've already made a decision in their head that the person who they need to be working with is you, right? Because they reach out and say, hey, look, I really like what you're doing. I liked your video. I like when you said this, that really resonated with me, or whatever they say. So I look at it as being able to get with a client and start on the 20-yard line on the good side, right? So I only have to go 20 yards to score a touchdown, versus I'm on the other side and I got to go 80 yards. A lot harder, right? So, listen, nobody likes to pick up the phone and just pound the phones all day. And, it's part of the job is prospecting, obviously. But wouldn't you want to make your life easier if you could prospect and then say, hey, listen, thanks for wanting to meet with me on Tuesday. I'm going to send you some videos that I made recently that I think you might find valuable, and hopefully you can watch them between now and when we meet. And then when you go meet them and you say, hey, did you watch my videos? And they say, I did. You're probably going to be in a much better place than if that never happened, right? And then you got to go through your process of trying to, do all your consultative sale approach to get them to swing over. But if they're watching your video content ahead of time and getting to know you ahead of time, that makes your life a lot easier. And I'm at a position in my career where I don't mind grinding, but I know there's better, easier, faster, more efficient ways to do it. And we have the technology. You just got to have the want to do it. And that's what I've done.
For sure. Speaking engagements in person are obviously very valuable, impactful. You get to see the people face to face. You get to answer questions immediately. And just the fact that you were selected as the subject matter expert to be up on the stage in front of the microphone. Video is a little bit different. And in a lot of ways with our industry, there's a big no man's land of, where do I stand with the customer? And video marketing creates somewhat of a free sample, or creates that first date, if you will, instead of just starting with prospecting and cold calling all the way through to a long-term relationship. So when you got going with all of this 11 years ago, I'm sure so many videos have come and gone, but let's go back to 11 years ago, Wade, and you are creating your YouTube channel, and you did your first video on refinancing. To take us through that, were you afraid? Were you like, holy crap, I have to do something different to close business?
Yeah, I wasn't afraid. When I moved to DC from Arizona, I'd been in title sales for about 7 years, so I knew the job. But obviously I moved to a new market 2,000 miles away. I didn't know anyone, had no clients, I didn't know who the players were, I didn't know anything. So, but I did know that it was an opportunity for me to kind of do a rebrand and launch something new. I also knew that I had to create that visibility and credibility as fast as I could, right? To bring business in the door and hit as many people, to let people know that I'm in the market and I'm here. With my coaching clients, I always, when they push back on me on video, I'm like, well, you can't be in the title sales witness protection program, right? You got to let these realtors and lenders know who you are, and you got to put your face and your voice and your personality in front of people. So I just knew that I had to get started doing something that pushed me out to as many people as possible. Did I know what I was doing? Not really. No, I just know that I needed to do that, right? And I was fine with getting uncomfortable a little bit, because I knew the pain of no business outweighed the uncomfortability big time, right? So I was like, I don't care, let's go. And I bought like small camera, nothing expensive. I bought a tripod and some lighting equipment, and I just kind of, you know, if you look at my old videos, they're old, right? They're nothing great, but it was just a start of something, and eventually it turned into more of something. But no, I wasn't afraid. I just knew, again, the pain of not having clients and the pain of not being as successful as I wanted to be completely outweighed any uncomfortability that was coming. So I was fine with it. I just knew that in my market, and this is even true today, which is wild, 12 years later in a very high-end area, that most of my competitors still aren't doing the things that I do, though they've seen me do it for a long time. They haven't copied it. They're not shooting videos. So since I knew that the majority of my my competitors were not doing something, that was the thing that I needed to lean into and do. And that's how I was going to stand out in front of other people, because there's a lot of good attorneys here. There's a lot of good title companies here. And I can't go around saying, hey, I'm a good person, and I want to get you to closing and all the vanilla stuff. I got to be out there, and I got to be different. And that was the best way for me to become the differentiator in my market, was to start shooting videos.
Sure. And you mentioned the fear that, or hesitancy or lack of consistency for people that you coach, and sometimes they follow your advice and they see results, and maybe the results aren't immediate, and then they fall back onto what was comfortable yet ineffective for them. Why is waiting to get into this a bad idea? Why is waiting for a better market to get into this a bad idea?
The thing is, you want to do it now. I mean, when it's a good market, like when it's a good market, everyone thinks they're great. Okay, realtors, title people, listen, everybody had a great year in 2020 and 2021. We all know this. But when you try to do something when the market's great, and then go out to your to your customers and say, hey, look, let's do this together, they're going to be like, I'm too busy, and look how many homes I sell, and I don't really need this because I'm so great. Well, when the market is not great and people are looking for new innovative ways, the opportunity is now. Also, think about the cost of waiting. Like, how much longer do you want to be in the title business? Oh, I don't know, another 10, 20, 30 years. Then what are you waiting on? Like, why would you wait for something? I mean, you want to build up the credibility piece and build the relationship piece and have this notoriety in your market now, especially now, so that you've attracted new people, you've attracted the right new people, so that when the market does begin to improve from a standpoint of more inventory and hopefully lower rates, that that credibility and those relationships are already becoming more established. You're establishing it now, so that when the market gets better, you're rolling in business. You don't want to wait till the business is already good. You want to do it now. And it's like what realtors say. When's the best time to buy real estate? Today? Like tomorrow? Like right now? Like there is a cost to waiting, right? And here's the thing: there are hungry younger title people that have nothing to lose, who are like, screw it, I'll go all in, right? They're going to be like I was 11, 12 years ago, that the pain of no business greatly outweighed anything else, and all of a sudden they're going to start doing it, and then they're going to be the person in your market who's the mayor of YouTube in their market, and then you're going to be playing catch up with them, and then your competitors are going to say you're just copying that guy, when you could have been the person that led the way the whole time.
Right. I mean, there has to be a percentage higher than zero that pushes somebody in your direction if they literally can't get to the bottom of your list of videos. If they scroll through and it's like, oh, I've been doing it for 3 years, you go into somebody, it's 11 years, and then they find you, they see that, and you don't have to do anything because you put in the work, and all of your videos aren't going to be slam dunks, but it's there. The proof is there, and the experience is there too. So given that you started somewhere, I'm sure you watched some YouTube videos to see what everyone was doing. What can people do to go check out some YouTube videos? Yours, obviously, but if they're going to go research videos of how to do YouTube or how to do video content,
sure,
what are they going to be looking for to just get started and see what it's like?
Yeah. So first off, I mean, YouTube is awesome because it's free. right? And it's the second most visited website in the world. So, it's really funny. I talk to realtors and they're like, what's your video strategy? And they're like, I don't really have one. But they talk about marketing through postcards to their farm. And I'm like, where do you go to get information, solve a problem, answer a question? They're like, I go to Google and YouTube. I'm like, okay, but you don't go to your mailbox, get those mailers? They're like, no, I go to the internet. I'm like, then why don't you have a presence there? But I would say there's a lot of one, you can go to YouTube and just literally look up like how to do it, but also there's a really great website called skillshare.com, and you can go type in like how to start a YouTube channel or how to set up a YouTube channel the right way or whatever, and there'll be somebody there teaching you how to do it. Listen, I don't have all the answers. I just know that you can find the answers and then go recreate it for yourself. But I mean, if you look in your market, how many people, your competitors, your title competitors, are actively shooting videos on YouTube? I mean, sure, you might have people doing reels on Instagram, which is fine, but there probably aren't very many, if probably any. And so, that's the thing you should lean into. I would take a course on Skillshare.com, learn to set up your channel. You don't need to spend a lot of money on equipment, right? I mean, sure, you need to have something, but I mean, your iPhone today is far superior than the camera that I ever had, when I was younger. Go to Amazon, get a tripod, get a Halo ring light, write down some really good content ideas. What are things that your clients need to know about, and maybe we'll talk about this in a little bit, but don't make your content too vanilla, because that's kind of put a little edge on it, because that's going to drive people to click on it, because you could have the best video in the world, but if no one clicks on it, no one's going to watch it. So, but I mean, the best thing I would say is just make a plan, start a channel, go to Skillshare or YouTube and like look it up, how to start it, and just get going.
There's a lot of good how to YouTube content on YouTube itself. Wade was talking about don't make your content too vanilla, and that's because 30 seconds is the threshold of people. That is the most frequent time where people will drop off your video, and there's a formula to it. It starts with the thumbnail. It starts with the title. Thumbnail has to match the title. Title has to match the first couple seconds of what you're saying in the video. But I searched title insurance I search title insurance every week to see what the new videos are, and 80% of them are what is title insurance. And while it's important to maybe have that in your library of videos that you create, but it doesn't stop there. And that's why you need to do a little bit of research. And then Wade, we'll get into this next section here of, what is your process for creating a video, and, where are you finding content ideas? That's where it starts. It starts with a topic.
Sure. Well, it's funny, obviously talking to my clients, I mean, and the questions and the things that they're talking about, I mean, those are part of it. That's part of it. Talking to all the title people that I speak with and hearing all the things they tell me, that's also part of it. But I run a lot, so it's funny. I'll be like in the shower, or I'll be on a long run, and all of a sudden, like some ideas will just come into my head. I'm like, oh, I should do a video about that, or I should do that. So there's no shortage of ideas. Then as soon as I get a good one, I always put it in the notes section of my phone so I don't forget it. But to your point, yeah, it's great to be like, yeah, this is what title insurance is, of course. But a better video would be, this is what happens when you don't buy title insurance. And then you tell a story about somebody who didn't buy it, and this is what happened, right? Or here's 3 things that can happen if you don't buy title insurance. So, that people are like, okay, well, what are those 3 things? So my process is get the idea, obviously. I take a picture of myself, right, doing some sort of like, move or whatever I'm doing. I email it to myself. I go to Canva. I type in YouTube thumbnail in Canva. I have the pro version of Canva. I create a thumbnail that looks all swanky. And then obviously for me, then I go and shoot my video, whether I'm in my office or I'm at my house or if I'm with a professional videographer. And that's another thing. Your videos don't have to be professionally done. I do spend some money on that because I think it's important for, especially as my coaching business has dramatically improved and other things that I'm doing. But you don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on that. You can shoot videos at your office or whatever with a camera of your own and whatever. So once that's uploaded, I mean, I shoot it, I upload it to YouTube. I make sure I have a really good title. Okay, that's good. The title to your videos are extremely important because YouTube, when someone types in any words into the search bar of YouTube, those are the keywords. Okay, so you want to have your key phrase in the title. Okay, and you also want to have the key phrase in the description, probably more than once. Okay, and you want to identify probably in the first 1 or 2 sentences that phrase should be in the sentence because you want to establish right away, this is what I'm trying to get found for. It's in the title, it's in the description. It could be a back-end keyword on your channel and a tag. Okay, then you want to have related tags to it. Okay, so once you have all that in there, and don't just put like a 1-sentence description, like actually put a description in there. And if your video is longer than 3 minutes or so, make sure you can add the chapters so that people know what you're talking about in certain sections. So that keeps them on your channel or on your video longer. So how YouTube will rank your videos is obviously if it's optimized correctly, that's helpful, but also time spent on the video. So if people are watching that video longer than majority of other videos, and also if people are giving it the thumbs up, right? That's why when people say, hey, if you like my video, give it a thumbs up, blah, 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 subscribe. So that tells YouTube that people like your video. They're on it for a long time and they've liked it, which means it gets saved into their personal YouTube account. And then it'll put your video, reward it, and put it in front of other people, right, on their YouTube home screen or whatever, or on the related searches on the side. So then lastly, at the end, I do the in-screen annotation where I'm linking my video to another video. And hopefully that video is obviously related to the video that I'm shooting, so it's somewhat similar, so that someone towards the end of the video can hop over to another video, which is great for SEO, right? Because it's telling YouTube, hey, look, these people like watching more than one of your videos. So then it keeps rewarding your videos even more. And then I have a link to my website in the description so that people know they can hop over and check out my website as well, which is part of a linking strategy. I'm linking my website to my YouTube channel. And if you're on my website, I have YouTube videos on there in my blog, which take them back over. So people are hopping back and forth, which is good for Google and good for YouTube. So I know that sounds like a lot, but you know what? There is a method to the madness and a process if you want it done correctly, so that you can get the amount of views that you really want to get, which is what we're trying to do, right? Otherwise, why would I shoot videos if I got 5 views per video? It wouldn't be worth it. So, and then the last thing you got to do after you shoot your video and do all that is you got to syndicate it. So you got to push it out, email it out to your clients, send it, post it on Facebook, post it on LinkedIn or whatever you're doing, send it out through your social channels and emails so that more people are able to click on it and see it and hop over. So, yep, that's my process from start to finish.
Wade's also he's created videos on, he's talking about the keywords, that's getting into search engine optimization. And when he's talking about typing up the words that you want to be found by, it's almost like you are at a complete loss for words and you're trying to describe something and you can't figure out the right words and whatever the easiest way to spit out the thing you're trying to find. That's what you want to be putting into your titles. We're not going to thesaurus.com and finding the word with the most syllables and be complicated. It's a very simple, it's a more simple thing than you realize.
Yeah, and you can also download like extensions, call it like TubeBuddy, which is free. There's a free version and a paid version, but you can do some keyword research on there to see what people are looking for. It'll also give you some help on tags. So, if you have tags in there, it'll give you suggestions or even tell you to replace some of your not good ones with better ones. So it's kind of, and you can also like put your key phrase into TubeBuddy and it'll tell you how optimized your video is, if it's and what needs to be fixed if it's not done correctly.
Good call.
Yep.
Now, where people get tripped up, they'll get the Scooby-Doo wheels, they'll get stuck. Speaking to the camera is probably one of those things where you have to do a bunch of takes. It's like, I didn't say it exactly the way I wanted to, but jump cuts are your friend. Transitions are your friend. If you have to say sentence after sentence and bake in transitions at each interval. If you do that, it's intentional and it's part of your video and it eases your burden. But Wade, what are some of the common parts of the process where people get tripped up?
It's funny. I've done videos with agents before, and they're like, "I've done videos before. I'm fine." Then all of a sudden, like the red light comes on, and they like freeze, right? So, or they think they don't need a script, or they don't need something. I got it, right? There's teleprompter apps you can use. So definitely, you can download, they're free. You can use those if that's going to be helpful for you. And also just realize that it doesn't matter who you are. Like if people screw up on videos, I screw up on my videos, or I'll get 3/4 of the way through and I'm like, I didn't like how that really, I could say that in a better way. And I just stop and restart it, like, because I want to make sure that it's right. But, at minimum, create talking points that you make sure you want to hit. Like I usually do that a lot. And I put that like a piece of paper, like below the camera with like 4 or 5 really good talking points. And then I make sure that I hit them. But yeah, leverage and use the teleprompter apps if you need to. I mean, upload your script, practice it, read through it a handful of times. Maybe even like, to get people engaged when you start your video, maybe start it by asking a question. Hey, have you ever thought about X, Y, Z? Hey, this is what this video is about, and you jump right into it. But I think people get caught up just from a standpoint of, even before they even shoot the video, they get in their own head of, this is dumb, no one's going to watch it, this takes too long. I mean, and they just kind of cut themselves off before they even get started. And I think if you need to break out of that mindset and just do it, right? And leverage all the tools that are available to you so that you can, start creating good content.
I mean, it's probably realistic and not harmful to say that people don't watch new channels' videos anyway, so they're not any different from anyone else who starts out. I mean, Mr. Beast didn't, he made videos playing Minecraft and nobody watched it, and then he said Logan Paul's name for like a week straight or whatever it was, and then it went viral because it was so dumb. But that's where it starts, and that's okay, and that's part of just accepting that initial phase. But we're going to get into some of that fear, and for someone who's as seasoned as you are, and I'm sure you had videos that flopped, and I don't know if you want to tell the story on the other side of the fence where you were recognized in Las Vegas by somebody, but tell the story about being recognized there, and then we can get into a video that you were like, yeah, thumbnail, title, hook, super topical, current, but it just didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I tell the story because you just never know who's watching your videos, and you don't need to have 1 million views on a video for it to be a good video. Like, obviously my videos are very intentional. Like part of them are for real estate agents, part of them are for title people. And I was in Las Vegas, I don't know, maybe like 5 years ago. And it was like 1 in the morning. I was getting food with a friend, and this guy walks up to me, and he walks up to me and he goes, "Are you Wade? Are you DC title guy?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "That's you. You're on YouTube, right?" I go, "Yeah, I'm the guy on YouTube." He goes, so he goes back to his girlfriend. He's like, "That's the guy I watch on YouTube." And so he comes up to me and he's like, "I know it's kind of a weird place, but like, can I ask you some questions?" And he wanted to like sit down and pick my brain. But my point is, he was a title person in California. Obviously I'm in the DC area. That's 3,000 miles apart. People are watching videos all the time. You never know who's watching. So don't think, hey, listen, I only had, 100 views on that video, that it was pointless, because you never know who one of those 100 people could be somebody who wants to reach out and do business with you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so,
but I've also had, I have had, some videos where I thought they should have been doing better than others, but I think part of the issue was the title probably was, the keywords were fine, but maybe the title was too vanilla. It wasn't catchy enough. It wasn't edgy enough to get people to, like I did a video once called that I had somebody actually reference it I talked to a title guy today in Pittsburgh, and he referenced it. because he thought it was a great video. I did a video about a year and a half ago called "Why Real Estate Joint Ventures Are Costing People Their Jobs." Not a vanilla title, right? Controversial-ish, maybe. But you know what? I mean, when you shoot a video like that, some people are going to be like, whatever, man. But you're going to have a bunch of other people that are like, yeah. And then when you get the yeah people like that, they pour into you, right? And that's the winner. But if I said, here's what you need to know about joint ventures, like, I don't know if I would have gotten much out of that. Even if the keywords and the phrases and the description would have been lined up, it probably was too vanilla and too bland for someone to think it was interesting enough to click on.
The next question I have here dovetails based off of that reflection, and you post it, it gets whatever views it gets, and then you figure out what you could have done differently. But it sounds like you're saying that people need to take a stance on a topic. Don't just say, here's surface level information about this thing. You're speaking to a specific person, and even if the numbers aren't super high, and I can't imagine the numbers in title insurance videos aren't going to be super high, but the level of interest of the person searching for your videos is super specific, and that's the important part here.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I say the same thing to real estate agents. I'm like, you could dominate your real estate, your farm, right? Your subdivision or the geographic area that you work. You could dominate that on YouTube because, not very many realtors use YouTube. And I'm like, look, yeah, you're not going to get 1 million views on this video, but you're going to get very intentional and very specific views from the right people. So, I mean, just be intentional with your content of what you want to talk about. And I realize if you're a title company, you kind of got to be like, well, I got to play kind of both sides, and I can't like be too crazy because I don't want to offend people. So I'm not telling you to offend anyone, but at the same time, to get views, I think you have to have a little edge here and there and make your titles catchy enough. Again, otherwise, if it's just here are the 5 main points about title insurance, it's like, okay.
It's like 90% of the other videos that are out there.
Yeah,
it's often to see.
Yeah. So yeah, that's, I mean, other good ones to do. I mean, and I know that I'm not alone in this, is like I've always wanted to do videos where like I'm interviewing our escrow staff, and they're like not for it at all, right? They don't want to do that. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be, but I'm like, I need to sell you guys. I need to sell you. I need you to be on camera so people get to know and like you. So that makes it even easier that they write Pruitt Title on contracts. But I know, but for me, I would, if you can get your staff to get interviewed or do a video with your staff, I think that's a winner, because the more people you can promote and get them on camera, and more people can get to know and like and trust your people, that's going to be the winner, I think, to help you get more business in the door.
I'm in that same boat. And for anyone on the call who is looking to be somewhat of a Pied Piper for their agency or law firm, I'm a case study where I'm trying to get more of our people on camera, and I have to build the car as I drive it to help them get more comfortable speaking to the camera. And I have to shorten that prep process, and a way that I achieve that shorter time is you do a pre-production call on Teams and record it, get all the information transcribed, and that way you don't have to have the same conversation over and over again. You come prepared with a script, with a structured script, and then you pair that with some of the videos that you've already done with the work of, here's just what you said. Say it to the camera, and then here we go.
Well, the thing is, part of it, the reluctance is people are like, well, what's someone going to think? And I tell them, who cares what they think? Like, I mean, people are going to think what they're going to think regardless. So, you're not shooting videos to care what people think, in my opinion. Like, you need to go out there and say your messages to create your value proposition, to let people know what you can offer, what you do, how you help, what knowledge you have. And you're gonna attract the right people, right? You're not going to attract everyone, and it's fine. But I would just say, don't worry about what other people think. Who cares? I mean, if you said to a bunch of people, hey, do you really care what people think about you? Like, some people are gonna be like, no, I don't really care. I'm just me, right? So how is it different if you're in front of a camera? Like, you're just talking to an object and telling a story or whatever else. But don't worry about what people think. I mean, honestly, for me, I hope that there's people out there that don't like me. I hope there's people out there that don't like what I'm doing, because that means I'm doing something right. Right? If everyone thinks that it's okay, then it's just more than likely what I'm doing is very vanilla. And I don't want to be vanilla, because no one goes to the ice cream store and just buys vanilla ice cream and walks out the door. They don't do that. They buy, you know, swirl with nuts and candy on top of it or whatever. So like, don't worry about what other people think. Focus on what you're trying to achieve and what your goals are, and then just move forward.
Sure. So getting into some of the equipment, we've touched on it with, you said you use Canva, you went out and bought a camera.
Yeah.
Phones have gotten to the point where they take decent quality. What is a basic starter list of equipment?
Sure.
People could go out and buy on Amazon and get it 2-day shipping sent to them.
The thing is, a lot of this equipment's gotten so much cheaper because it's, you know, there's so much of it now. It's like, you know, it's like buying a flat screen TV that used to be $1,500 and now it's like $300. You know, obviously your phone, if you want to start there, of course. If you want to get something a little more, like I have a Canon TI6, I've had it for like 6 years, but I probably need to buy something newer. But it works. I mean, you can buy cameras for a couple $100. I have a tripod that was maybe $50 on Amazon. I have a microphone that I bought on Amazon that was maybe like $20 or $15. Let's see, what else do I have? I bought a Halo ring light. The ring light was like $50 or $60. So, you know, not big ticket items, right, that cost a lot of money. I mean, for me, the largest investment I make is when I hire my professional videographer, but that's just, and that's not all the time, right? That's just every once in a while. But, you know, you look at, honestly, a starter kit, I mean, you could probably get out the door for, if you didn't buy a professional camera and just use your phone, probably maybe $200, right? $300, $250 or something like that if you really wanted to do it. And the reason why I say the light, the ring light is important because obviously you want to have lighting, right? You don't want to rely on like a ceiling light like this, which isn't great. And also the audio's got to be important, because even if you look great, if people can't understand what you're saying, or it sounds like you're in a tunnel, they're going to click off your video pretty quickly. So get those things down. And you know, also maybe you have a backdrop, right? You could go create a backdrop or buy a backdrop or do something with the backdrop. That wouldn't be a lot of money either. But I mean, I look at it, of course, as an investment. It's not a cost. You know, even when I spend money with my videographer, even if I spend, you know, $1,500 out of my own pocket with my videographer, it's an investment, because I know that when I do that and I post stuff to YouTube, that my phone rings, I get emails, people fill out forms on my website, and it leads to opportunities that clearly outweighs what I'm spending. So again, it's a small investment, and I would just say get started. Your competitors aren't going to do it, and since you know they're not going to do it, that's a reason why you need to do it, and you'll start creating more visibility, credibility, and profitability in your market.
For sure. So I curated a checklist of equipment and software tools, and then there are some videos in there about how to position the lighting. I have a light right here. You can see the difference.
Sure, of course.
Turn this off.
Oh yeah.
Versus, hey, here I am. So lighting makes a huge difference. I have a microphone that I bought for $100, and lighting and audio are critical, as Wade said, and cameras run the gamut. If you are interested in receiving that checklist, there's a survey at the very end that has a yes or no that I want to receive the Word doc. It's like 2 pages of links. But rounding this out, Wade, I didn't want to leave without giving people who are never ever going to make a video some bit of sales coaching. And we talked about some of the critical moments in the sales process. And there's that very end of the process where you ask for the business, and your customer, your potential customer, gives you a very wishy-washy answer. It's, I'll think about it. So could we share Wade's advice on how to handle and possibly overcome that wishy-washy answer.
Well, the way that I train my coaching clients is hopefully, well, not hopefully, but it is. When you get them to the end, I mean, you really shouldn't be getting that if you ask the right questions ahead of time in the consultative sale approach, but let's say you do, okay? So if you do, one way that works is realtors think when you're meeting with them that it's got to be all the business comes to you, or they have to send all their business back to their title company that they're currently using. So if they're wishy-washy and you make it sound like, well, look, it's either you're working with me or you're not, they're not going to. They'll stay in the comfortable place, okay? Because you're asking them to do something that's a little uncomfortable for them, which is switch their relationship to you. So you could let them know that they don't need to stop using their old title company, because if you draw that line, you're going to lose. So I'll say things like, well, let me ask you a question. How many transactions do you think you're going to close in the next 90 days that you can direct to the title company of your choice? How many deals do you think you can send to the title company of your choice? And they'll say, oh, let's say they say 10. 10, you know what? You think I can get 4 of those to make sure that we're a really good fit to work together on the escrow and closing side of things so you can experience our processes? I'm not asking you to switch your title company relationship. I respect that loyalty that you have over there. I'm just asking you for a couple of those deals to make sure we're a good fit. Whenever I've done that, you know what it does? It takes the anxiety out from the realtor, because they're like, oh God, I don't need to go tell my escrow officer, you know, that I've left her. I'm never going to ever use her again, and I know she's going to call me if I send all my business over to Wade. So if you have somebody who's wishy-washy, let them know that, you know what, this isn't marriage. You can have a title mistress. It's fine. You know what? Let them know that they can still send business over there. And here's what's going to happen. Drew, I'm going to work with you and I'm going to help you with those things that you told me in our meeting that you needed help with. You know, your client event and your YouTube channel isn't set up and you want me to help you. I'm going to help you with all that. And I'm still going to let you still send business over there. But I want to get a commitment out of you that we can still close those 4 deals out of your next 10. And whenever I've done that, I've usually always gotten a very favorable response, because it makes them feel like they don't have to choose between me and them. Obviously, after the meeting ends over time, and I'm helping them with the things that they're telling me they need help with, and I'm doing my effective follow-ups, then I can push a little harder and say, hey, look, I'm doing all this extra stuff. I'm following up with you. I'm doing the title company you're still sending business to isn't helping you with the things that you told me you need help with. I'm the one that's doing that. I've earned more and I'm asking for more. And then you have the right to ask for more at that point, especially after they've already sent you 2 out of those 4 deals. They both went really well and you were on top of them. Then that's how you slowly start pulling people over. But if you're in a scenario where they give you a wishy-washy answer, go to the how many transactions do you think you can direct to the title company of your choice in the next 90 days? And then when whatever number they give you, ask them for half or maybe just under half, and say the reason why you're not going to infringe on that relationship is because you're just starting a new one, and also we need to make sure that we're a good fit to work together on the escrow and closing side so that you can experience our processes. And they're always going to say, that's fair enough, I get that. And they're going to more than likely say yes, that they're down with that.
You've laid the groundwork. You've provided the value to help grow their business, and getting back to being a case study with this video marketing material, you're able to hopefully show them something new. And you can, we talked in the prep call where you said, did I do this? Yes. Did I do this that was valuable? Yes. Did I do this that was valuable? Yes. Is the other company doing this? No. Well, come on.
Right. Yes. So to avoid even getting to the wishy-washy place is that when you're asking them the right questions about their business, and that's a whole thing I offer in coaching, and they're going through the things that they need help with, and you're answering their questions and going through your processes to potentially help them, right? You get them to the end and say, you know what, I'm really dedicated to working with you. I'm really dedicated to helping you become more successful. Let me ask you, Drew, what's the likelihood of us doing business together in the next 30 days?
They're not going to argue with their own words.
Right, and they can't be wishy-washy with that, right? The answer is pretty good. Yeah, I think so, or there's a good chance. Thank you for that commitment. I appreciate it. I'm going to connect you to the escrow officer. It's going to be handling your files when I get back to my office. You also want me to put an attorney on that so you know where you can go if you have legal questions. And then I connect everybody on email and I make sure that they know who their processor is, who the attorney is going to be that's going to be answering their questions or signing them at closing. And then I follow up with them within a couple days right after that. Right? I got my teeth right here and I'm not going to let go, right? I'm right there. Why would I walk away? Like, but that's a way to get, because the goal is you want to get them to commit. And people don't like to go back on a commitment. That's why when they give me one, I'll say, that's awesome. Thank you for that commitment. I really appreciate it. I remind them right there they gave me one. Less likely to go back on that, especially if you're following up on the commitment that they gave you, which is the follow-up strategy.
Right.
Because realtors can be mushy.
But what I said in the beginning, at least I think I did. If I didn't, I meant to. But I was super excited to get this scheduled because as much as you are DC title guy and a coach, I think you are just such a good example as a salesperson for what someone should do. But let's step out to title sales coach or real estate sales coach Wade. And what if it isn't you, if someone's ever looking to do a consultation with a sales coach, or they're gonna vet a couple different ones, what should just a title rep sales coach do for someone? Not necessarily you, but just in general, what should they do?
Well, I mean, I talk to people all over the country, and some markets buyer agent direct, sometimes it's listing agent, sometimes they're marketing to attorney, sometimes it's whatever. Is first off, identify the issues that the client's having, right? What are the main pain points that they're really having? And I would say the majority of people that I talk to is that they were thrown into the job without any training or very little to none. They struggle with the basics of client acquisition, client conversion, client retention. So if you are going to hire a coach, make sure that you hire somebody who has a track record of success in the thing that you need help with. Okay, obviously sales is sales, but I've had people who didn't go forward with me with coaching because the company said, hey, listen, if you want training, you got to get it from within. So I'm like, that's fine. Make sure they give you someone as a track record of converting middle to high level agents in your market, right? In title sales. They should be giving you accountability, right? Giving you great ideas, giving you instruction on what to do, giving you scripts and dialogues for calling non-directing customers and follow-up scripts. So when I say the word scripts, people think like, oh, I have to like memorize. No, it's think of it as knowing what to say in the right situation. Okay, so if you knew what to say in the right situation, right, that's going to make you a lot more comfortable and helpful, right? And also just teach you in general a process and a system that's going to ramp you up as quickly as possible so that you can create the success and make the amount of money that you want to make in this job. So whether it's systems, it's accountability, it's processes, right? And also identifying your best wants and needs, and then helping you solve those problems. But I can tell you this, the biggest gap we have in our industry is the lack of training. I mean, if there wasn't, I wouldn't be talking to all these people. But the majority of them, no matter if they're in Washington State or Florida, are telling me, hey, look, I just started in title sales, 2 months ago. I was all excited about it. And now I feel like I'm on an island and I don't know what I'm doing. So that's what I'm here to do. And there's other people out there as well. But I mean, if you're thinking about getting a coach, get a coach. I have a coach. Okay, think about that. I have a coach. Okay, my coaching partner, she has a coach. Like, because I don't know everything. I'm trying to learn all the time from people that know more than I do to help me become better at what I'm doing, whether it's coaching or sales or just a dad and a husband. I need that accountability and guidance too, right? So, the people, and if you look at real estate agents, the most high performing agents usually are the ones that have the coaches. So it isn't like the worst ones have coaches. They're the ones that fail. That's why they don't have a coach, they fail. So, if you're looking to grow and get your business to the next level or just learning extra processes or better processes, love to talk to you, because as a coach, that's what we do. Because I want everyone on this call to make as much money as possible in this business. And you can do it.
So thank you for giving us a little bit extra time here. I selfishly talk with you for another hour here, but yeah, one question that came through is, how often are you contacted by consumers buying a home versus a real estate professional?
Very
Do you have
rarely.
any data on that?
Very rarely consumers, real estate agents obviously all the time, but no, very rarely consumers. I mean, one of our attorneys spoke to a buyer today because we're taking a deal from a new build construction title company, but very rarely do I talk to consumers. It's, I mean, I talk to real estate agents and I talk to obviously title people like constantly.
Sure.
Mhm.
Great. Well, I guess we'll wrap up with, I'll give you what's the final takeaway with all of this? If there's one thing that people can walk away from this and have this as their attitude toward creating video content for their marketing, what would you tell people?
You know what? Learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and it's okay. That's how you grow. The majority of people in your market want to live in comfortability. They want to live where it's nice, right? The money's up here, not here. So be fine with getting uncomfortable. I'm sure, you know, if you wrote a business plan in January, maybe it was in your business plan, like follow through with it. Do the thing that most people in your market won't do, and be fine with being uncomfortable doing it. Get started. There is a cost to waiting. I mean, I'm stupid. I wish I would have done this 2007 or something versus 2012. You know, I was 7 years into the business before I started shooting videos on a consistent basis. Dumb me, right? So, you know, YouTube is free. You can set up a channel today. If you want me to help you set up a channel, reach out. I'll jump on a quick Zoom with you and walk you through it. And, you know, there is a cost to waiting. Do the thing that other people in your market aren't willing to do. And I would say you just have to move forward and do it. It's like, when's a good time to go to the gym to get healthy? Well, next month I'll do it. Oh, wait another month. It's like, dude, what if 2 months? If you would have started 2 months ago, look where you would have been. But now you waited 2 months and now you're behind the 8 ball. Like, you know, I mean, and you don't need to become professional. You don't need to be like this super perfect person. Like, just go out there, be you, be authentic, talk about what you know, and get your face, voice, and personality in front of as many people as you can. Do it consistently, and you'll start seeing good results.
That's the key, consistency. And you've shown it over your career as a salesperson, and I guess we call it a YouTube career. If you get noticed in Vegas, you are a YouTuber, right?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I have 2 daughters. My daughter's she's about to turn 8, and I have a 5-year-old. My 8-year-old, she watches like YouTube Kids, or she'll have, you know, she knows about YouTube. And so, you know, it's funny, when I was a kid, it was like my dad could beat up your dad and, you know, all that stuff. And now her big brag is like, my dad's a YouTuber. And so she has cred at school, even though I'm like this title YouTuber guy, like not something like a super famous guy, but like, you know, she has cred at school because her thing is that my dad's a YouTuber. So I don't know for that. I always think that's funny when she tells me that.
Well, it's a really well-rounded presentation of yourself and your skills, and I encourage everyone to reach out to Wade to ask him one question. If there's anything that you're curious to know, I've gathered so much great information from watching his channel, and then we've had 2 or 3 calls before this webinar here, and thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. What's next what else do you have coming up? What videos do you have coming up, or speaking engagements or anything?
I will be speaking at Title Sales Mastery in Reno, Nevada. It's October 23rd and 24th. You can go on, if you just look up Title Sales Mastery 2024 on Google, you'll find it. Daryl Turner's program. He's flying me out to speak there. It's not till October, like I said, but I also have a Facebook group you can join. It's called Mastering Title Sales. Strategize, collaborate, and I do webinars on there on occasion, like 30-minute webinars. And also, if you just are considering coaching or you want something like that, you can go to my website, dctitleguy.com. You can just email me at dctitleguy@gmail.com, and we can schedule an exploratory call, and I can walk you through what coaching looks like, and you can see if it's a good fit for you. And happy to chat.
Wonderful. Don't be afraid of success. Don't be afraid of making the call and putting yourself out there, learning something new.
Yeah.
But thanks again. If anyone would fill out the post-webinar survey, I would greatly appreciate it. Check out our social pages. And if you want to check out this webinar again, I'll be posting a recording of it to our website, esecuritytitle.com. Any last words, Wade?
I mean, again, I would just say be comfortable with getting uncomfortable. There's a cost to waiting. Put your voice, personality, and face in front of a camera and start talking. Don't worry about if it's perfect or not. You know, just be a doer, right? And you'll be, and it's on the credibility piece, it holds a lot of weight when you're talking to someone who you want as a customer, and you can point to something that you're already doing. So, you know, if you say something like, hey, you should be shooting videos, and then you don't ever shoot any videos, well, that doesn't make sense, right? But if you can say, hey, look, here's what I'm doing, it'll help pull over clients faster if you have that credibility piece in place.
Great advice. Sage advice. Thank you.